Traveling with the queen of rock and roll. The COVID hit, now we're stuck at home. Instead of sitting on our ass, we came up with this sick podcast. Crewicide, Crewicide. Out of my way, you're in my line. Crewicide, Crewicide. The main four picks and sticks all night. Crewicide, Crewicide. Ha 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 ha. Crewicide, Crewicide. No autographs tonight. Can I get a set list, man? Hey, set list, please.
You know, we just started off and go like, you know, we're on the bus or something, you know what I mean? But in this case is actually cool because basically Annie and you guys have more stories that I've never heard. So I'm looking forward to this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm looking.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Crewicide podcast. We are engulfed with guests. That's the only way to say it. I'm Beef Henderson. With me, as always, is Annie Stoic, the beautiful Annie Stoic, who I'm so glad to see her face. And I actually got to see her face today and yesterday, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. We have special guests today. We had 4 of us. I guess it's a threesome now, boys. That'll show up on technical difficulties. But all of a sudden, Annie disappeared.
Off to a ripping start.
Hey, it's already like a black card gig, you know, curveball. Woo!
Yes.
Please welcome, as soon as Annie gets back, Mr. Josh and Dan. Welcome to the show.
What's up? How you doing?
I got kicked.
There she is.
He's back.
But I'm guessing you introduced everyone.
I kept it going. Speaking of driving, I took the wheel.
Good.
So welcome back, Annie. All right, and we got Dan and Josh. Before I do anything, all right, and this is for our eagle-eyed fans and viewers. The last couple of podcasts, y'all might have noticed something different. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. Maybe we'll do another podcast. Contest for a shirt. If somebody in the comments when this comes out can tell me what happened and why I'm doing this now. So real quick, and I'm going to do the shot. I love Mickey D. I love Mickey D. But Mickey D, Motorhead, King Diamond, you know, that's going to come back up. But for our eagle-eyed fans, they might have noticed the last couple of podcasts. They might have noticed it was gone. It's back. Where did it go, Annie?
I don't know how much we could talk about it.
We can't.
We
can't. By the time this airs,
I don't know, maybe. But either way, Beef and I were able to actually see each other for the first time in a year. And work a small gig. Wasn't really a gig, but, you know, like a video shoot thing. So we got to see each other and actually do a little Crewicide action. So that was pretty awesome.
I'd say so.
So, yeah, how are you guys? I miss you guys. How have you been?
Well, I've just been here on the family farm, hanging out, riding this year out, or however long this year and many months this is. We've been in this pandemic and working away, doing odd chores around the farm, collecting eggs, doing a little spring cleaning right now, which I'm excited about. All good. Everything's fine here. How about you, Dan?
Well, a whole bunch of everything. This year I have I've worked on an organic farm. My friend Dave Pugh, Russian River Organics, helped him out last season. I have done a lot of construction, a lot of demolition and remodel work. I'm taking care of 2 clients' yards. I do a little landscape maintenance. And recently just hired back at my friend's winery, Hawks Wine. So back working at a winery, doing all kinds of winery stuff, cellar work, shipping stuff, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's been a very strange year, I'll tell you that. And I miss you all. Beef, I'd love to meet you one of these days.
It's coming, brother. Both of you, it's coming because for those of you who, let's give a little history on this. At one point, Dan was on tour with the Blackhearts, as maybe Annie can describe this a little bit better.
Merch for you did the Styx tour, right?
No, Josh did the Styx tour.
Josh did the Styx tour.
I did the Styx tour.
Okay, Styx Tesla.
I Tesla.
I did the Heart tour.
Right, I wore El King because I was like, one of you did this.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Although Josh has worked with El King in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have loved to have met El King. She's cool.
She's fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, she just looks like she's cool.
Yeah, their whole like crew band, they're awesome.
Great vibe.
Great camp.
And she's the real deal. She can sing.
Mm-hmm.
That's always, that's what I always look for. I always say that, like, I could do 1,000 shows with everyone and anyone in New York and TV and whatever, but I'm not saying anything about the talent. I'm just saying 90, every one of them, only maybe 10 off the top of my head, maybe 5 or 6. I'm saying 10 generously, didn't use tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And she could sing, that woman can sing.
As merchandisers, we don't know anything about that, do we, Josh? No,
not really.
Taking the fifth here.
I just count T-shirts.
All right.
So actually, you guys, Josh and I go way back.
Tell us.
Way back,
Yes.
2000, 2001, Josh?
Oh, no. Actually, I found the first tour book that we did back in little show and tell.
Show and tell. I love it.
This is great.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
My first tour was with Salvador Santana, which is Carlos Santana's son. That's this guy right here.
Nice.
Found the book.
Found the book. And on that tour is where I met Mr. Dan DeSerpa right there. And he's been managing the merchandise for Santana for years and years. And I took a liking to the merchandise side of things, and he asked me to go do the next tour in the fall. So I found that book too.
Sweet.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, Josh, but you're out doing backline for Salvador, and the tour ended, or you started helping me with merch, and then the next thing you know, I hired you for the next tour.
Yeah.
We were doing big numbers, so definitely needed 2 people on those runs.
So you were doing backline, Josh? What were you doing? Curious as to what you were doing.
I was doing backline, all around production assistant for Salvador, and then I became a merchandiser.
Jumped over. That's funny. I never heard of anybody that did that.
It can happen.
Nice.
Yes, it can.
Anyway, so we go way back in the Santana camp, and I was with the Santana camp from 1999 till 2012, 13, right around there.
Holy
and
shit, that's a long time, brother.
Yeah, and I started as a t-shirt guy. I went on the road right before or right as the Supernatural record was just blowing up. So that was my first intro to merchandise and to touring, and I just thought that's how it always was. Like wow, sold out shows every night. We went from I was driving a Ryder truck, and then I had to go get a bigger Ryder truck. And then we went to half a semi, and then we had a whole full 53-foot trailer full of merch that we'd get, 10, 15 skids every couple of days. It was a good time. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So Josh and I have
that was
some
my
stories.
introduction, working with you and everything. It was quite a learning experience.
Yeah, and so subsequently I filled in a bunch for Josh because I only worked for the Santana camp. I hadn't, gone into, touring with other camps, and suddenly I left Santana and I went to work for my friend's winery, which I'm back at. Thank you, Jake Hawks, for the gig, and and I worked for the wine business for like 3-4 years and wanted to get back into touring. So I called Josh. I said, hey, man, you got anything I can help you out with or fill in? Which is funny because way back when I hired Josh, I said, someday, Josh, I'll probably work for you.
I do remember that. I think I remember that.
So I think that's how I got the Blackhearts gig is, Josh, you couldn't do a tour. You had a conflict. And
I believe
you submitted
so.
my name. I forwarded my resume to Ed, I think, and he says, great, come, you're in Northern California. Come to the Marin County Fair and meet everybody.
The
Which
Marin County Fair.
I saw the Randy episode. I just think that's where you guys hire all your merch people is at the Marin County Fair.
I actually had a note written down for the Marin County Fair because you both were there, right?
I was there. Yes.
So they both show up, not supposed to sell merch because I had a different seller, and they both took over the merch booth. And we're like, don't worry, we got it. And I'm like, thank you. Okay, I don't gotta worry. And there was a seller there, and she was very new. And they're like, we're gonna teach her, and we'll get this done, no problem. They completely just came in like a wrecking ball team.
Yeah, we pretty much elbowed her out of the way. We got this.
I commend you for that because that's kind of in this circle of how they do things. It shows a lot of fucking number one, you want to do the gig. Number two, you're there to help, and the bosses love that shit. You know that, Annie. And it's like if you've got that attitude, it's gonna fucking show. That's awesome. That's the Blackheart attitude. Let me get in there. Watch out. No problem. I'm here. Let me do something. Right, Annie? We were doing that yesterday.
Yeah.
Annie, I remember you talking to Kenny, and I heard you say, "Hey, you know what I mean?" And I was like, "That was great." It was like, "We'll do anything for you," and that's the attitude, and that's awesome. The Marin County Fair. Go ahead.
It all comes back to the Marin County Fair.
So
circles around.
Yep.
There's so many times I can remember being there. Oh God, when the pot lady gave us all this pot. This is before you were in the crew, and that's when Billy ate approximately 15 to 20 cookies and brownies. And
oh gosh.
She gave us about a 3-pound tray of pot. That was the first time I went there.
Oh my goodness.
And we had to go straight from the gig in the afternoon. It was an early gig. And then maybe like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we were going to the airport, and I had to eat them too. It was a whole thing. And long story short, I got so high. I mean, I got so high and paranoid. I had to throw out all my pot that I had on me because I thought I was going to get caught. And I'm sitting there melting into the store like this, and Joan comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Beef." And I go, "What's up, Joan?" She goes, "Don't you know that guy?" And I look over, and it's Mick Foley from the WWE, the wrestler, Mankind.
Oh, yeah.
Cactus Jack. And I had to go fucking introduce him. She's like, you should talk to him. I'm like, okay. She knows I was in wrestling, and I was so fucking high.
Oh God.
That was at the Marin County Fair.
Great things happen at the Marin County Fair.
Oh, that's so funny.
That wasn't even the time we took mushrooms. So you guys got hired at the Marin County Fair, and that's how you got in.
Yeah, that's how I got in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I met everybody, came on the bus, I'm like, all right, I could do this. This is great. Everybody was so nice. And, Josh, I think, now that I have like five years under my belt of working with different camps, I can say as a merch guy, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. You just get on the airplane, you show up, and you meet the crew often at the gig. You don't get the luxury typically of meeting people and then, being able to say like, maybe this isn't going to work out or this is
very true.
Yeah. So that was really rad to meet everybody in advance. The show was great. So, I was like, this is going to be fun. And Josh said wonderful things about the camp that all were true. Yeah.
Okay. So Josh was in the tour prior to you, correct?
The tour prior. Yeah.
Okay. So Styx was prior, or Heart. No.
Styx.
Yes.
Joan Jett. Styx.
There you go. I love that.
You got all your books ready to go.
Oh man, I love this. Annie, it's gonna turn on to show and tell, just basically the show,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love how he's got his references. Well, I guess I got to pull this out.
Uh-oh.
What do we got?
It's just
Oh boy.
we were talking about where you guys were from earlier prior to the show, and he said he
Oh,
was
yeah.
in Northern California, where my uncle lives, close to where my uncle lives, and this is from the Air Force Base.
Beale Air Force.
SI-71. Yep.
That's it, baby. Love that plane.
Is that the U-2 plane? Is that the one?
No, that's not the U-2 plane. That's
It's a spy plane.
That's
Yeah.
a subsonic spy plane, supersonic spy plane.
Way up high.
You know what? I think there's actually one at the Intrepid now. Whatever.
I see random planes flying in and out of there, and I don't know what they are, but they're doing something.
Let them do it. Let them do what they do. Just like we let us do what we do.
Yeah.
So, can you guys go back? We're pretty much about a year right now. Were you guys about to go on tours in last March? Like, where were you when kind of all this happened, or what were your plans?
Josh, I'll take this one first because mine's really boring. Like the last gig I did was Blackheart's. So
were you going to come out with us for the stadium tour?
Oh hell yeah!
We don't know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I was asked. Of course, you know.
Yeah.
I would love to. And that's actually a privilege when you get asked. I think to come back with a camp. That I think it's great. You can bounce around a lot in a year. It's really nice to go back to family. And anyway, so that was my last tour, and yeah, I've been sitting it out. Josh, you were actually on tour.
I was on a tour. I was in the UK with a British artist named Jamie Cullum.
Oh, sure.
And we were about 5 shows into the tour, and our last show was on the 15th of March, and they shut us down. Everybody went home. That was the end. And I ended up on my brother's farm in the British countryside for a little bit, and then I flew back to the States at the beginning of April. So I was in the middle of something, and when it all went away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Can I ask you a question? What was the overall general feeling out there in the UK about what was happening? Was it like, I know over here, when you say March 15th in general, I remember that day specific. It's like the Ides of March, basically. The new Ides of March. I equate it to that. I remember between the 14th and the 16th at SIR New York, and I'm sure you boys are familiar with the SIR studios and system.
I worked at the SIR in San Francisco, actually.
Oh God, who was that up there? Oh, we'll talk about that later. But
yes,
regarding the general feeling, I remember exactly where that we were in the city working. I was getting ready to do 3 gigs that week for television, a private party, and another television gig. So 2 televisions that, and all of a sudden, on the 15th or 16th, I was given the option to take unemployment and, just go home. And like you said, go on a farm. I went upstate to my mom's house, which is pretty remote, It's up by where Woodstock was held in '69, the same area. And it was like I went up there, but it was an overall feeling of absolute unbelievable. What was going on over there in the UK? Was it as hyped, or was it just like,
It wasn't. I don't think it was as hyped as it was elsewhere, but there was a general nervous sense amongst everyone where they knew everything was going to be canceled, but when was it going to be canceled? And hey, maybe we'll come back in a few weeks and finish it all up or something. But it was weird time.
Were you able to get toilet paper there?
Annie, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, great question.
It did get a little sketchy for a while. I went to a British supermarket and the shelves were bare. Like, just, it was a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing in the stores. What's happening? So, yeah, it was quite an experience over there.
Yeah.
And damn, what was
It was a heavy feeling, yeah.
Yeah, heavy is right.
Yeah,
What was
it's
it
just
like going on
amazing.
the West Coast?
It's amazing the human race is like gotta like panic. They can't wipe their ass. Holy shit! So everybody's got to go out and get toilet paper.
I love that.
like really? Like, I just wish
man.
we were a little more intelligent than that, but oh well.
Well, speaking of toilet paper, I'll go into this.
Okay.
Can't wait for this segue.
So, my mother got into this whole idea of ordering a bunch of bidets for people.
Yes.
Are you familiar with a bidet?
Yeah.
I'm sure you are. So, at some point during, I think it was midsummer, she got a pallet full of bidets from China shipped over. She ordered them for different people.
Where's mine? A pallet?
I had to go pick these up in Oakland, and I had a car full of bidets in the back. It was,
oh, man.
That's great.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's so like something I just love it, but I'm just so like, you got me. You really got me on that one, bro.
Beef, you definitely want to be on his. You want to be on his mom's Christmas card list for sure, Beef. Yeah.
It's just so out there. It's like you stumped me. Usually I'm not at all offended, but I usually have something to say, or like, I'm just like a pallet of bidets from China that you picked up in Oakland.
Now, Josh, listen, man, the swag man in you weren't like, Mom, we can sell these and make money.
Exactly. That's what I was talking. I brought it up. I said, okay, let's have a website. Let's go all out.
Mm-hmm.
People want this stuff.
Oh yeah,
But,
my band immediately printed custom hand sanitizers. Like because we thought we were gonna have a gig on the 14th. So we were like, okay, we're ready to go. We got branded hand sanitizers. We got gloves. Like, we're good.
That's right. You guys ordered it before the actual pandemic, because as soon as it came out, you were like, oh, yeah, check it out. You need hand sanitizers. We got it.
We literally got it like a day before they sold out.
So, Annie, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, so what happened? I mean, when you downtime, non-touring time, you guys tour. Jackknife Stiletto tours, right? Or plays gigs.
Yeah.
Did you have a bunch of gigs lined up that
We
got
had
canceled?
a gig that day with Bowling for Soup, and it canceled within like a day of each other. So and the Blackhearts had gigs too, and they got canceled within hours. Like, everyone get on your plane. Actually, everyone don't get on your plane.
Yeah, and I had a Todd
And some of
Rundgren.
the crew did get on the plane, so they had to turn around and go. Of course, Billy.
Motherfucker.
Oh man, I love Billy.
Fucking shit. Oh, can I ask? Going to Billy? Can I, just to lighten the mood? Can you guys got any good Billy stories? I mean, come on, that I haven't heard. What happened on the tour? What happened on the Styx tour and the Hard tour? Any classic Hurricane Crater stories?
Oh man, I don't have any specific in mind, but I always went out to front of house and enjoyed watching him do his thing.
Yeah. He's incredible to watch, and man, I just enjoyed his mix every night. He was great, but I don't kiss and tell, and no, I didn't kiss Billy.
Oh man, sometimes he'll kiss you, bro.
I know. Don't pass out in the back lounge.
Oh, yep. Nope.
I mean, that happens on tour. People come and go sometimes. Sometimes merch people come and go. I've gotten some good gigs because merch people had to go, so I came in.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Yep. But what counts is that you got to actually meet him, and like, he was a great guy, and he was on the crew for a really long time. He did his time, and regardless of, it doesn't matter, but we love him to death, and hopefully we're going to have him on the show. But we'll make fun of him to his face on the show too.
Well, yeah. Josh, wait, you were on the Tesla tour? Isn't he a massive Tesla fan?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He's the biggest
Loves
Tesla
Tesla
ever. That's all he does.
There was one day he was actually wearing 2 Tesla shirts.
Yeah. I believe I was handling the Tesla merch for a while, and he was asking me for Tesla stuff.
He's like, hey.
And
Exactly.
And he pulls his hair back to get all like pretty for you and be like,
give me Tesla shirts.
you think I made a Tesla shirt? And sticks out his hot chest. You know, he does that. He's like,
Yeah. Very much so.
I thought something might be a fun little thing to do. What are merch pet peeves that you guys miss?
Oh, God.
There's so many.
There's so many. Like I had, like off the top of my head, I'm like people asking, "Can I have that black one? How much is that one? What?
Yeah.
Can I touch it? Can I try it on? Like when everything's like labeled and priced
Everything
throughout.
is clear as day.
Yeah,
We take the time
Right.
to make signage, and so it's like shirt 1, shirt 2, shirt 3, and they're like, give me one of them black shirts. Like, okay, there's 6 black shirts up there, buddy. Which one? 1, 2, 3, or 4. That one. 1, 2. Yeah. Or do you have that shirt in red? That's awesome. I want it in red. Do you have that back there? No, it only comes in black. Sorry.
Or like
I'll pass it on.
selling, like a poster. You're selling a nice poster. Oh, I want that on a T-shirt, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go right there and print it in the back.
You got change for $100? Yeah.
it's like Rodney Dangerfield and fucking, Dino Martin over here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rolling back and forth with the one-liners.
Yeah, I mean, any merch person is familiar with all of these, but yeah, there's just so many. Like, intermission. If there's an intermission show, it's like everybody has to leave their empty drink or their half-drunk drink on the merch table and walk away, always. And then inevitably it'll spill, and yeah. I miss
That's
it.
a big pet peeve. Yeah.
I miss it. Yep.
Yeah, I was like pet peeves that we would really like to hear right now.
What about this one, Josh or Annie? When you walk into a gig that you haven't been to before and you've advanced it and everything, they're like, "Oh, we got plenty of space," and they're like, "You're going to be right here."
You're gonna be in that corner.
Like,
there.
what? This is it? Like, yeah.
I need 5 more tables. Oh, we only have 1.
We're going to put you in the room over here, like upstairs and out of the way.
Where no one can see the merchandise.
Lady, we do $12 a head. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, man.
Never.
What
seen
about
something
when
else.
you leave a seller alone and they individually fold your T-shirts?
Oh,
By the
But you're not in Japan.
yes.
Sidebar: Japan, they fold everything. They do it all before you know it. Like everything is folded like in a half an hour. I'm not and it's all beautiful and perfect, and they stack it all up. And at the end of the night, they'll return it back to dozens or tens, and off you go.
I love that reaction, Josh. Oh no.
No.
I just can't. I can't go there.
No, Japan's a whole different thing.
Oh, you can't get into Japan. You just don't want to go there. No, I'm just joking.
No.
I'm joking.
No, when like someone individually folds all your shirts when they're
I
supposed
know.
to be in bundles.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in 12s.
Yep.
Yeah. Leave them in dozens.
I mean, that's how we got hired, right? They asked me, could you count to 12? And I said, yes. They said, you have the job. And it's like, you go out in the world, it's like, can you count to 12? They're like, yes. And you go count. It's like, that's only 10. Or that's 13.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or using Atvenu. Do you guys miss Atvenu?
Oh, Atvenu. I received so many calls from this guy right over here. That guy. I don't know how to do this. That guy.
But listen,
on how to use Atvenu, because you hadn't used it very much. So I did help you out a few times.
You've helped me out of a lot of jams. You got to remember, I'm a semi-dinosaur. I started in '99. I mean, there's definitely more experienced people in terms of years out there still. Bless their hearts. But I started basically with a yellow legal tab, and Excel was pretty new at the time.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people who refused to use Excel even at the time, just like there's kind of a anti-Atvenu for various reasons, many of them valid. However, so when technology took over, I hadn't been on the road. I was running Carlos's licensing and merchandising, so I was in an office most of the time, and I hired road people. So I hadn't actually moved over to the new technology. So yeah, Josh helped me out quite a bit, as he still does.
Nice. Yeah, our previous guest, Randy Volpert, was my guy that I called when, you know, they were like, we're using Atvenu tonight. And I literally had to learn it that day. I was like sitting at a merch table, like putting inventory in. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you do this? What do you do? You know, and had to learn it. Literally.
There's no tax in this state. There's no tax on this item. How do I remove the tax? Like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm learning about this. Atvenu must be an app where you guys link into the venue, and instead of having someone over your shoulder counting in with you and out with you, you're putting it into the system basically.
Yeah.
That part should never change, in my opinion. You should always have somebody verifying you, whether you're with the band or the venue. I mean, it's always lovely when you're not being verified. It just speeds things up. Let's say that.
Yes.
So, I mean, at venues, basically, it's a little bit Big Brother, but I find it to be an actually fabulous, fairly easy program to use. And the founders will, the main people in the company will answer the phone if you call them almost at any time of the night and help you through it. Yeah. So
that's good to know.
Some people hate it. Yeah.
But yeah, basically it's a merch inventory program, and also they will provide you with like iPads, which you could use credit card sales through, which will link up with your inventory at the end of the night.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, you do run into some venues that are like, oh, we still write everything down. We have to verify anything. So if I do all my stuff, like, or have my stuff already counted from the night before, you know, I'll put everything out and say, here's my numbers. Like, I got to go do other stuff. So you're welcome to count everything again.
You know, Atvenu has been a very helpful tool. A lot of the
it's great.
Merch companies have jumped on to using it. You know, Bravado uses it. Sony uses it. Warner uses it. So, you know, most of the big merch companies are using it.
And also one of the beauties of it is, I'll tell you this much: it simplified our lives, Josh. And I think in this manner, I remember having to back in the day fax show sheets to various offices and call and either leave a message or send an email with the nightly gross and net. So what Atvenu does, anybody whose email or who wants the information can be entered in, and then as soon as you settle the show, everybody in that email chain gets the numbers.
You get the nightly report.
Yeah.
And so you're not having to get on the phone and call in the numbers or do any of that stuff. Nobody's hounding you for how do we do or what happened.
Yeah,
right there in the email.
Happened? Yeah.
Check your email.
Yeah, I will say my first gig ever with the Blackhearts. I think Billy was doing merch at the time.
I could tell you stories about him doing merch.
And yeah, so this was my first gig. I was gonna set up the merch, and I was just doing like setting it up. Then you have a seller sell, and then you go settle it at the end of the night. He just showed up with a garbage bag of shirts and just dumped it out on the table, and I was like,
"No,
oh, Billy."
Okay, all right, we'll do this.
We used to have to. Excuse me. It's so funny.
Wow.
So that was my first experience with the Blackhearts doing merch.
So Annie, I know what you do, but I don't know. I mean, I think maybe people do, but I find it fascinating that you work so hard during the day and that you always have, a wonderful attitude and you're always like super positive and smiley. You design and program light show every night. You run the light show. You do the meet and greet. Is that right? Beef, do you do this stuff with Annie, or Annie, do you just run it all yourself typically?
She does it all. She does it all.
Usually the tour manager, if it was Ed or Kevin,
right,
is really heading the meet and greet, and if I'm able to run over and help out, then I definitely,
right.
I have,
especially when a big one,
before, but not like Annie does them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's become more and more common in the merch world, is to have merch people run the meet and greets too. I do that with Todd Rundgren.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I did that with the Monkeys.
Hold on a minute. You just said a magic word that's going to branch us off for 1 second. Todd Rundgren. Are you familiar with one Randy Brown?
Randy Brown, the one and only. I love Randy. I was scheduled to go back out with Todd. I worked with Todd for, I think, 2 years now, previous to the shutdown. And I was scheduled to go back out with Todd. And that's another camp that is just solid gold. I love those. I love that camp. I tend to, unlike Josh, I tend to work with a lot of established acts.
Oh, that's great.
So I mean that's another reason why I love being with the Joan camp. I really appreciate camps that have been there and done that, who know how to tour.
Yeah,
that's what I'm used to. Josh, you've done some younger bands.
I've been with some established acts myself. Like
who, Josh?
Weren't you out with Aerosmith and you couldn't do our gig? Was that why?
That's why I got the Blackhearts gig, because he was with Aerosmith. Yeah.
Yeah, I was with Aerosmith. So would that constitute as a established act? Maybe
I would say yes.
I think that's good.
We'll give you that.
Speaking of Aerosmith, now is a Haystack still on that crew?
Yeah.
Oh boy, man! Now I love how you go from Randy Brown to Aerosmith and Todd Rundgren, and it all gets linked up through the Blackhearts.
Yeah, he's still there.
Oh man, he's a great keyboard tech. I got to get a hold of him. I think he's out of Indiana or something like that.
Yes, he is.
He's very. I'll find him. I'm sure you can. Find him if we need to. But Aerosmith crew is great, and that's a huge tour. So again, like Annie, everyone's talking about Annie, what she does. I mean, for the most part, Joan will do the major tours and all that shit's there, but a lot of the stuff that Annie's doing, she's really like in it. With the stadium tours, it's more like it's different.
That's when I don't do merch. That's when we bring in lovely guys like these to do that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm stoned.
Gotcha.
Fucking idiot. Well,
but yeah, what you guys were talking about with like kind of meet and greet packages is a lot of bands start doing kind of like a merch VIP combo pack, which the Blackhearts don't do. But I know you guys have worked with artists that do that, things like that, where that's kind of ran by a merch VIP person.
Yeah. So sometimes it's it's a separate VIP person and a separate merch person on the tour. But lately they've been combining those jobs on certain tours, but I haven't had to do that yet.
Oh, you haven't? No.
Well, I take that back. I have.
It makes for a little bit longer day. I remember, Josh. So one of the fun things is you can have major merch meetings or minor merch meetings. Sometimes we have to drive, and there's plenty of tours where we have to drive a rented truck, a Penske or whatnot. And when that happens on days off, if we happen to be within an hour or two on a day off, it's not uncommon to go visit each other. Josh came and saw me on a Todd Rundgren tour in Cleveland, Ohio. Remember that?
Oh, yes. I don't know where I was driving, but I think I was driving through Cleveland possibly and going to another city somewhere. And I knew you were in town, so I figured I'd stop on by.
And I put him right to work, because going back to Remember this going back to the little pet peeves. This is sometimes stuff like this happens. Most of the merch for that show was shipped in. I had run low on stock, so they shipped in, like 10 boxes. And I had to get those boxes. Well, they were locked in a closet, and the guy who had the key was not there.
Of course. Of course.
This is so Crewicide. This is the definition of Crewicide.
Right. And if it was just merch, it'd be no problem. But I also was running the meet and greet, so I've got to get 150 hardback books lugged upstairs. I have to open them to the right page so Todd can sign them, and then bring them back downstairs, set up the stanchions. And I was also doing the picture too. They got a little picture. Yeah. So Josh actually saved me that day, because by the time I got the shirts, I was way behind the ball. But yeah. So a minor merch meeting is two merchandisers. That was a minor. We were corrected. A major merch meeting is 3 merchandisers or more who happen to be hanging out,
Marin County Fair.
Exactly.
There you go.
That was a minor.
I love that shit. That was a minor merch meeting.
Yes. Do you guys miss being in hot trailers and trucks?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Bit.
I don't mind the dirty work.
Yeah.
Running back and forth to do ads.
I don't know about you guys, but even if it's like the winter, the second I start counting t-shirts or something, I just start sweating. I don't know what it is about merch, but I'm like, what? I start counting at 12, and I'm like, all right, I'm drenched now. I'm sweating.
Yeah, no, I don't like winter as a merchandiser. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's another pet peeve. Man, we could talk about this all night. So, Josh, what about those buildings where you can't go in the back entrance? You have to put all your stuff on a cart and wheel it all the way around the theater to the front doors. And then by the time you get there, the person that said they were going to be there to open the doors, they're not there. They got walking through the venue. They got pulled to do something else. So now you're outside. It's freezing or it's raining, and you're like, knock, 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 bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, there's some venues that didn't really think hard about making a straight path from backstage to front of house with room enough to bring a cart through. And there was a venue in North Carolina, I recall, that they didn't have a straight pathway, so you had to go up an elevator, down some stairs, through a slew of offices, and then out to the front of house.
Yeah, take stuff off your cart or your hand truck, put the hand truck down 3 or 4 stairs, then reload your, it's like this all the time. So if you ever want to know why a merchandiser perhaps might be just a little, tired, cranky.
I thought of a pet peeve when you're counting merch and the lobby or wherever you are is open and people consistently come up to you and ask how much things are, when you guys going to be done, when are you opened, are you taking
what are the prices? What are they going to sell for? When we're open, you'll be able to see, you'll get all those answers.
Oh man.
Maybe we should have a plaque made up for the next time. Just a plaque made up, and you just wear the headphones and pretend you're counting, and it says FAQ. We open here. Yes, we take credit cards. We have all different sizes, and most of our shirts are black. You know what I mean? You should do that.
I almost printed out signs to put on the table.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Yeah, it is a great thing, but it almost doesn't matter because there's always
they're
those
still
people
going to
who
ask those questions.
Well, here's my favorite one. Hey, man, how much is that $35 shirt?
You got discounts? Do you have any discounts?
End of the show. They're half price at the end of the show.
No,
what are you going to do with them when the show's over? What are you going to do with them? We're going to take them to the next show.
City.
It's not food, idiot. It's like, half off. It's the parking lot guide, not you.
We love our no, but we do though. This is all just part of it. It's all part of it, and it is kind of maddening. But,
it all equals out.
But and we know that at least I do. I mean we know that we're there because the fans are there. The customer is the fan. The fan is the customer. It's interchangeable, So always grateful when we have a place to set up and sell and make some money. Mm-hmm. And increasingly, merchandise has become more and more and more important to revenue for bands over the years as record sales have gone away. So
very important.
I think Kiss really, was the forefathers of that shit, and like seeing what you can do with it. I know it's like, it's insane what they did over the years, and I made fun of them because I was a big Kiss fan. I still am a big Kiss fan, but I thought to myself, oh, this is ridiculous with the casket. Oh, this is ridiculous with the Bible. This is ridiculous with the Gene Simmons bust, which I have, and I got it Spencer's Gifts in 1998.
Spencer's Gifts.
Oh yeah, they'll have it. But I mean, I think that even now more so, like the things that they not almost pioneered, but like everything and anything type of deal, like it's really like that's how it is now. 40 years later, that's the standard.
Yeah,
what Kiss was doing in the 70s and 80s.
So this is a good topic. Then maybe I should ask all of y'all, what is like the weirdest or just the most interesting merch item you've ever seen or purchased on a merch stand? Not a licensed product at a store, but. I will say that the Toto bobbleheads were pretty damn good. I had a set of Toto bobbleheads, all four guys.
I would buy that.
Oh, they're great.
Nice.
The problem was they would break a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. They were really cheap. Or people would pull them, they'd come back and be like, "This Luke's head's not bobbing." So I'd like pull Luke's head off, and stretch the spring and put Luke's head back on and be like, "You're good."
I saw some Stray Cats pomade. They sell like
classic
gel or pomade for your hair. They had this little custom case and everything. That was really cool.
That's great. Did they sell? Did you do that tour?
Oh no, I didn't do that tour, but I did see them and they did sell. People like them.
I don't know.
That's why I'm looking around too.
I'm looking around trying to see what I got around here.
What do I have?
What do I have that's cool?
Yeah, there's been some weird stuff. I had to sell Carlos Santana fragrance on tour.
Oh yeah,
I believe. Yeah.
A cookbook. There you go. Zac Brown Cookbook. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea Zac Brown had a cookbook.
Well, he's very much into cooking, and I should have brought that for show and tell because I have that somewhere.
How was catering on that tour?
Very good. Very good.
I miss catering.
Oh man, that's when he just brought in this cooking trailer when I was on that tour. They brought in this 53-foot custom made cooking trailer for them to do the eat and greets.
Oh my
Wow.
Oh.
They had been doing it for a while out of this homemade kitchen trailer, and then they went full out with getting a big 53-foot semi that turned into the eat and greet trailer, which had a canopy that comes out. It was nice.
That sounds cool.
And very good food. Very good food.
Yeah.
I believe the chef Rusty. That's his name.
That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I started, that was pretty common on especially in Europe, and a lot of the bigger tours, you'd carry a chef and a kitchen crew and cooks.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember the first time catering was really prevalent for me with Joan. She was doing a lot of one-offs when I started. And it was the first big tour, Warp Tour, but it was like really kind of like it was good, but it was not like.
I thought Warped Tour was the best catering. That's
It was
Ta-Da.
great.
That's Ta-Da catering. That's the best.
It was okay. It was okay. It was everybody. It was good. It was okay, but like maybe they had an off year because I do know Ta-Da is great. You know what I mean? I'm not knocking them. It was just like maybe it was the first time, or maybe it was just like whatever. But it was like, all right, this is cool. But then like, or maybe just because the next tour was better, which was the Eagles of Death Metal tour, which was at the venue, and each venue was just like getting us stuff, and I was like, this is better than catering because I got to order out every day. But I think it was Aerosmith. That was good catering, the first Aerosmith tour.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
good.
oh, that was good catering.
Did you guys ever do a Warped Tour?
Luckily, I never had to do a Warp Tour.
No,
I'm actually
that was
very
my
pleased.
first. That was my first tour, and that's where I was just merch on that, and that's where I like really learned how to sell and stuff on there.
That's a big tour to learn how to be a roadie, and
that's where I cut my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I worked a couple local Warp Tour gigs, but never had to do the full tour.
It was, and Annie doing it in the van. I mean, oh boy, bless your fucking heart. Because I did it my first time around in 2005. I had hooked up with a band through SIR. It was a little weird, but I ended up doing like backup, screaming style vocals for this rapper. And we did like 3 gigs they gave us in the middle of nowhere in Minneapolis, Chicago, and Iowa. And it was like, so we had to jump in a van and do it. And I was like, this is insane for 3 gigs. And then I got to do it the next year in a very comfortable situation. So I cannot imagine what you went through, Annie, doing 56 plus shows in a van straight.
No, yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
And it's stinky too.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, and I think what people don't realize, and merchandisers, we still do this, and it's the same as bands starting out who don't have a deal, who don't have money, who are booking their own shows. They got to do the same thing. They got to pack up their own gear and drive every night. But it's one of the few times that our position is doing 2 jobs, really. We're not only doing the merch, but then we got to drive to the next gig. So that happens from time to time where there's not enough room on the truck. There's enough room in the bus, but there's not enough room in the truck. And you don't find out until the first show, and then you got to go rent a van and
You'll get
drive.
a Penske.
Yeah, get a Penske and drive, And so you're working all day, and then you still have what? Whatever. Sometimes, like Florida, forget it. Jeez. Oh, we're going to Atlanta down to West Palm Beach. Like, gotta make that drive. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And merch is always the last ones out.
Yep.
That's why everybody loves us. Where everybody's waiting for us. They love us.
Oh yeah, when you're the crew bus and it's like, we have a merch guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which I never care because I'm like, I get it. Because I'm always the last one out. When are you going to be done?
Why are you so slow?
Yeah, I'm not slow. It just takes the time it takes.
Here's a question. Has anybody been oil spotted on tour?
No.
No.
No. We have oil spotted someone
Never
before. But it was when like the venue was close. But
let's hear it. Yeah, let's hear it, Josh.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was in Louisville. It was in Louisville, Kentucky. They closed the doors, and I was still in the venue settling with the venue rep, and they closed the doors of the truck, and truck went on its way, but I still had product to get on there. And
that's
luckily luckily, I had only a few boxes, so we threw it under the bus. We got on our way.
Yeah, that's happened to me, and it doesn't really happen twice on a tour because once you fill the entire front lounge with returns from a shed show,
they understand.
Yeah, and everybody wakes up and there's like t-shirt boxes everywhere. Yeah, that usually only happens once if it happens on a tour.
Only once.
I remember some of our bunks being filled with merch boxes.
I remember some of our bunks being filled with fucking shit.
Wine.
Shit that's supposed to be fucking.
Yeah, we had the wine boxes.
Back to someone's house.
Remember? Remember Annie when we were like, "Oh, sweet, another junk bunk, right on." Because it was tight.
Loves the junk bunk.
And so it's like the day that bunk was cleared out and it was empty. It was like the day that we're gonna take all the wine from the artist bus and put it on the crew bus. Because the bunk row is the best place. It's the coolest place. It's the best place to store the wine. Yeah.
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 I miss my bunk.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't sleep very well at home. I've gotten used to it this year, but if the bed is not moving, it's hard for me to go to sleep.
It's that rocking motion,
It's the rocking.
It's very comforting. It's very comforting.
It is.
The motor sound.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I sleep, like this in the bunk every time. I pretend I'm fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm like, every time. Because if I don't, because I do this when I'm in bed, I'm like, I do this. So I literally have to, like, every night do this on the bunk, or else I'll just be like, Billy stepped on me a couple times. He tripped over me.
I was going to say, yeah.
Because I was always on the bottom because I was super big. I was the biggest guy. You don't want me to fall off the middle or something, But I was always on the bottom, and Billy was always tripping over my own.
Now Billy's on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he has to get pulled up.
I think he just drops to the floor and rolls into the bunk.
He does.
Yeah.
Crawls up on the kitchen on the table seat.
I mean, I can't do a top bunk because I can't get up there.
I hate the top bunk.
I've done it, but
as the merchandiser too. When you're not part of a camp, you know how it is, and everybody kind of has their bunk. The merch guy, you get there, you just know more or less you're going to get a top bunk, unless you get lucky.
I think you got lucky on the.
I totally did.
The crew bus. We all had condos. We got spoiled too.
We totally. Well, no.
Oh, did you not get the condo?
No, they were all condos except for two, and one was a junk bunk, and one was the merchandiser's bunk. However, that was the tour where it parted, and I think when I found out that he was going home or whatnot, before the day was even over, I moved his stuff out. I'm like, this is gonna be my new home, sanitized it all.
You were just like, too soon? Can I have his bunk?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I'm like,
because once then you're on the tour, then and if someone's out, then you're now take their spot, and you have the.
I didn't literally move his stuff out, but I definitely was spying it, and I'm like, hey, buddy. Can you get your junk out? I'd like to move in.
You're like, it's getting late.
When are you leaving? I'd like to get to sleep sometime.
Buddy.
So fucking good.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your theories of where you think the industry is going. When you think touring's going to happen. What are your ideas?
Well, obviously we know that tours are booked right now. Tickets are on sale. I personally don't know what to think. I want to see everything come back. I wanted to see it come back healthy, meaning everybody's having a great time. Everybody's working. Fans are coming to see the shows. And, the artists get on stage and do what they do. I think we all need that, and we all miss it. Personally, I don't know what to think. I'm chomping at the bit. I want to get some gigs. I want to get back with the camps that I've worked with in the past. I want to go and work with some more artists. But I don't know if I'm ready to go out right now. I have one of my shots. The next one's coming in a couple weeks. But nonetheless, from my perspective in merch, I don't know how you feel, Josh. I don't know how things are going to change, how different they're going to be. I'm not afraid of that, and I'm all for it for everyone's safety. But part of me feels like I just kind of want to see how it shakes out. And I'm excited to get back, man. I really want to get back to work, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I feel the same. I'm excited and eager to get back, but also a little hesitant about things. I want to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I do look forward to the day we can all get back out there and do what we love doing.
Yeah. And Josh, you and I talked about this the other day, as Josh and I have checked in from time to time. What we do is we typically work with the front of the house, and I know the back of the house has its own challenges, but the shed tours or the amphitheaters, I feel, is probably a much safer opportunity for merchandisers. To do a theater tour where we set up and we're selling, I don't know if I'm ready to be in a little tiny hallway with 600-800 people who are drinking a lot. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's a whole different ball game.
Wow, you really kind of just
breathing that same air. I mean, you guys are, well, Andy, you're front of house too. I mean, you're right. You're right there too. And I think an amphitheater seems way more doable right now than a club or a theater.
Yeah.
You're right. I kind of went the opposite way. Like when we started this, I always said that it'll go smaller, things, but you're right, man. I don't want to be around any. Not that I'm a merch guy, but I wouldn't want to be around anybody like that in a theater.
Normally.
Yeah. I mean, normally at a theater, a merch booth is like insane. It's like complete. There's no room in the lobby for all these people. There's always a crowd. Everyone wants to touch everything and feel. So I think that's going to be changed. Where you want this shirt, I'll hold it up. Don't touch it. You have it. It's yours. That might be something that happens. Or I've also heard people maybe buying it on an app or something, and people just deliver it to their seat, and there won't be a merch booth, or there'll just be a display up. I've heard some of those things as well.
So Josh got me a few years ago. Josh got me into the festival side of things for a little bit. And originally I was going to help Josh. I was going to be a stand captain for Josh and another gentleman in the business who was running this particular festival. Anyway, long story short, Josh couldn't do the gig. Surprise.
Surprise. I don't know what I was doing, but I had something else.
Working with other established artists.
What I remember you having is you had a long-term opportunity versus, a festival, a weekend. So I ended up running this thing, and for 2 years, I ran the merch side on the festival with this other gentleman from the Bay Area who's well known in the merch world. And that was happening back then. It was Bottle Rock, so of course, Napa.
I've done that. Yeah.
Yep. And so what they had was, if you didn't want your merchandise there, you could get on your app, order it, see the whole thing online, and order it to your home or wherever. And so I remember at the time we were a little, concerned that would eat into our gross. So I think what we did is we built the deal where it was all one gross number. So for us as merchandisers, that was good. But that started back then. So I can only imagine that's just going to completely take off now. And I don't think there's any turning back. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a little bit of a new world out there. I don't know what's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely agreed.
I agree.
However, I will say this: when I started working with Carlos Santana, it was it was pretty apparent that I was working with a bunch of basically Bill Graham disciples, so there's a way that Bill Graham did business, and merchandise was very, very important to Bill, as were the handbills and the posters. So as many people and things that I've seen, and I've seen a few, quite a bit actually, that everybody tries to change the merchandise world and make it better, no matter what, the test of time has resisted many or most of these changes. Technology is going to be interesting in this COVID, but a lot of those things haven't worked, and it's still the traditional. You need a seller, you need the inventory, and you need a lot. You need to be able to get it fast and get it into their hands fast and do quick, fast transactions, because you only have a narrow amount of time. You have the in, the intermission, and the out. And sometimes you only have the in and the out. So your time to sell is very compressed. So what these changes are going to be, I don't know. But if there's still going to be physical merchandise at shows, I think a lot of things probably can't change. They might change how they make the lines, stanchions and plexiglass, and it might take longer. In some venues, that's going to be a real challenge, like a real challenge.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's certainly going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yep. I can't wait to see what happens here. So let's hold on tight. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Regardless whether if I'm out or not, it's going to be interesting, like Annie said, just to see it. I mean, who knows? And I want to touch real quick on what I think Josh said about, are you not necessarily ready to go out? You know what I mean? Was that right?
Yeah. No,
I mean, it's like you're having time. I feel like a lot of crew people and a lot of guys that are, or a lot of men and women that are in the industry have been doing this, that make careers out of it. And then all of a sudden they're home, they're forced to be home, and they start enjoying other things,
Exactly. I found other hobbies,
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, I don't get to work every day.
Yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see too, is the attrition. How many people are not going to come back to this career because maybe they found other work, and for the first time in their lives maybe said, oh, it's actually nice to come home and see the kids every night, or something, whatever it is. I'm not sure. And there's a lot of people we've lost.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who just reach that retirement age and maybe they just won't go out. It's well, not Billy, but everybody else maybe.
Billy, we're gonna have to throw him in a road case and toss him over a bridge somewhere on the road. The next gig. That's the roadie's funeral.
Billy.
Oh my God.
The roadie's funeral. I love that. Also, and one more thing about what you just said about the attrition of people going back. That brings me to I had a thought about this. I was talking to somebody young in the business that was working with me the other day at a streaming event. And I said, he had a really good mind for what was going on. And I said, well, there's two things that's going to happen. People are going to leave and there's new people that are going to come in. And what the hell is that going to hold? People that don't know what they're doing, that just kind of, by somehow get in or whatever, or don't have the brain or the mind for this. But this kid was really cool, and he was telling me about some of the people that he worked with, and I couldn't fucking believe it, that they were just such idiotic people, especially in this day and age. Like, he's like, I was working with a crew, they all had their masks off, this and that. I was like, what is this, their first time? He was like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
a little scary on that end. Only not to bring not to be a Debbie Downer. Sorry, I just totally killed it. You can cut my ass.
No, but those are the people that like you look at and you're like, man, I'm never getting back to work.
Yeah.
When you see certain things going on, you're like, man, I just want to go and work. I want us all to go to shows and work and do, like, no one wants to sit home and sit on their couch and not work. Like, none of us want, like, the bands, the merch people, the crew, like, no one wants to do that.
The bus drivers, the truck drivers.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody. Yeah.
We're ready to go. Let's do it safely and properly. So
Well, I don't think anybody's going to go unless they feel comfortable, like we've all agreed on. And if it's not done safely and properly, there's no fucking reason that anybody should be going.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And those items that I think y'all touched on with Randy too, also just about the core crew on a bus. That's one thing. It's going in with the local crew every day in a different city, and it's like, who knows? So, yeah.
I said it might be interesting to how that's going to work with unions.
Yeah, and I just wonder if things are going to take longer. If there's new, I mean, who knows? It's a lot of what ifs. But if things take longer, how does that work with unions and stage calls and overtime and all that kind of stuff on the business side? Never mind. Blah blah blah.
on the up there.
Yeah.
That's for those people to figure out.
We're here to sell merch and do the game.
Yeah. I'm just a t-shirt guy. I don't know anything about that management stuff.
Yeah.
Man, it's great to see everybody.
It's great to see you guys too. And to end off on this, I wanted to bring something up.
I know. I owe you cookies. I know this.
Oh, wow.
These are gluten-free fudge striped cookies.
Okay, hold on, Ed. I got to take a picture because I've been meaning to ask you all year. In fact, I just told my wife Julie. I said, "Oh my God, I probably have to like come out and say that Annie, I owe you a box of cookies."
So I had gotten these box of cookies on tour, and one day they just disappeared. I'm like, I didn't open that box. I didn't try any. I don't know what happened to this damn box of cookies. Like, I was just like, am I losing it? Like, did I eat them? And then I'm like asking everyone, I'm like, I don't care if anyone ate them. I'm just wondering. And Dan's like, I ate them all.
I know. Okay, but you gotta know, like coming into a new crew, you're like, all right, well, I'm not gonna touch it. But those cookies have been there for like, I think they were like for a day or two or something. I'm like, nobody's eating the cookies. What's wrong? And I didn't know everybody's. And I think nobody was eating them because they were gluten free. I don't think I knew that Annie was like gluten free yet. And I'm like, so I had one. I'm like, oh, these are pretty good. And because they're gluten free, there's not as many in a pack. So, but I ate like the whole thing in like one sitting. I'm like, Cookie Monster. I totally owe you, Annie.
Nice one.
I thought it was so funny. The other day, I found them in the supermarket. I'm like, I have to get these, and they're not opened yet either. So if you want to eat all my cookies,
send them to me. No problem.
You got to send 2 boxes back, though, brah.
Yeah.
I'm sending her a case. Are you kidding me? She's getting a case.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Miss you guys.
Oh my God. I can't believe I never got to. I'm so happy I got to do this with you guys because Annie always talks about how cool you dudes are. And, I really wish I would have been out there for some of those good times. But you know what? There's some other good times that are coming, I hope.
Yeah. And it's been really good to see on this show, to see Donnie, to see Gary, shout out guys, everybody. Yeah, it's just been really wonderful. Good for you guys for doing this. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for letting us be a part of this.
Oh man, anytime. This was one of the most fun times I've had because I'm fucking laughing the whole time.
Well, yeah, I think it's good to check in on everyone, say what's up, because normally we see each other multiple times a year, even if we're not on the same tour. Like, we usually all run into each other at some point, and now it's like we haven't seen our people in a year, and it's crazy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us and joining us on the Crewicide podcast. And everyone make sure to hit the like, subscribes, buttons, all that. We'll put your Instagram handles in the description below. So make sure you follow the tour swag and
D-Slurp. D-Slurp.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, that's how when she's like, oh yeah, Dan and Josh. I'm like, fuck are these guys? What are you talking about? She's like, Tour Swag and D-Slurp. Oh yeah, of course I know those dudes. I thought she was. Well, I have no idea what she's talking about.
I know. I have to
Instagram
refer to
handle.
Instagram names.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Keep on rocking.
All right, you too. Hope we see you soon.
You guys be safe out there, and hopefully we see you soon. I
Yeah,
really
we'll do.
can't wait to meet you guys in person.
Yes. I'm going to look for that t-shirt too.
Oh,
Yeah.
which one? The SR-71?
That SR-71. That's a cool shirt. I got
It is.
to look
yeah,
on
well,
eBay for that.
You find one and then let us know. We'll do another thing about it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Annie, I'll be in touch. It was so
All
good
right.
to see you guys, all right?
Cool.
Oh, by the way,
Thank you.
Yes.
Annie, I'm
Yes.
wearing out my Blackheart socks. If you have any more.
They're probably in a warehouse somewhere, locked up, with all the Lysol wipes.
A fortune in Lysol wipes you were talking about.
Yeah. I know. I was like, like when everything was like missing, I was like, I know my production case has Lysol wipes. I have soap. I have antibacterial wipes.
And Bic lighters.
And Bic. Oh, I have so many Bic lighters.
You gotta cut that part back in where you talk about the king's ransom of Lysol that you have stashed. It's like we could do a heist. We could do a fucking crew heist to go get the Lysol and fucking Bic lighters in the apocalypse.
I know. I was like, I know we got bandanas. I know we got this.
Annie's 11.
Yeah, the Lysol wipes are great. I mean, every time we had a fly date, I just like, yep, there they are.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Always had them in the case.
I'm gonna get going
man.
because I gotta go to the bathroom again. I haven't peed in over an hour.
Okay.
Jesus, let it flow. Let it flow.
Yes.
Fuck you guys. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Crewicide! 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 Crewicide!